We're gonna take care.
Instead of arguing, once you say, there people are swearing, I'll say, we're gonna get a hold of the staff, and please don't have them doing that. That's why,
So
make
every time
sure.
that happens, we should call
Take a
your
picture.
cell phone.
We gotta call his cell phone or her cell phone.
Can you get your number? And also can you get your address? We might like to buy some property in the neighborhood.
So my information is over there, and Amber.
What?
We decide we can't buy a house. That's the problem.
Yeah, you can buy a house to live in it, not to have 12
We
people.
haven't bought it
Your
anyway.
information is where.
She has my business card.
So we should call you.
They deserve a very good quality life, just as we all do, as being part of a population that needs support and needs help. So I don't feel that Candelas really offers the type of community that these people need. My mother is a recovering alcoholic, and she needed to go to meetings every single day. She had to go to UAs every single day. She needed access to medical care. That was very hard for me as one person. How is one person going to provide that for 12 people? The closest AA meeting that I've found is in Superior, which is 15 minutes away. How is that going to help anybody, if not, set them up for something where they cannot achieve these goals, especially in the beginning of their rehab, as well as there is not that much public transportation to get anyone to a job. It says on your flyer that they're required to work and be proactive members of our society. I don't understand how 1 or 2 cars is going to accommodate that for their success and their future. And that's important. And that's important for their,
Well said.
Resources, they need resources, and we don't
I
have
don't
it.
know how that's gonna happen in this location. It's not that close to medical treatment. There isn't that, there are a handful of doctors in the area, and there's an ambulatory ER, but that's not a real ER down the road.
The closest bus stop is 30 minutes walk away. You can't have a Domino's
I don't
pizza delivered to our
understand how
neighborhood
this is
because it's
going
not
to
within
set
reach.
up
Like, this is
success for people,
not
and
a great
that's
place
what
for
they
this.
need. And so that is very much a concern, because I've seen people fall off the tracks because they don't have the ability to be successful. And as a community member, I want everyone to be successful. I want everyone to have that equity and that equality, but I don't know how you're gonna achieve the goals that you have on this paper.
So I would like to answer all of those questions point by point, and I'll do my best to address all of them. So they are drug tested 3 times a week. We take them to a state licensed outpatient medical facility 5 days a week. They spend 6 to 8 hours a day with state licensed psychiatrists, master's level therapists, counselors, case managers, etc. And that's all provided at the outpatient center.
So
This is just a place for these
everyone
guys.
on the same schedule has to go
Everybody's on
at
the-
the same
absolutely.
time in like a
Absolutely.
12-person bus.
Absolutely, not a 12-person bus, but yes.
But they can't say no thanks, I'm staying home.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's mandatory for our program. They have to be treatment compliant. They have to participate in the program. In addition to that, they're breathalyzed, they're monitored, they're supervised 24/7. I mean, right now our staff to client ratio is like 1-to-1, right? So, I mean, these guys are generally in like a 30-day, maybe even a 45-day inpatient hospital type setting or detox before they come down to us. Generally, when they leave us, they go to a sober living home, a true sober living home where they can come and go as they please, where maybe there's not staff on site, and those places do also exist all over the city. So we're that bridge between inpatient treatment and independent sober living. We believe we're giving them the tools necessary to take that next step. That's what we're trying to offer
These
these guys.
individuals aren't often able to drive their own vehicles.
They will not be driving their own vehicles.
How are they supposed to get to a job when there isn't any, there's very limited public
Yeah,
transportation?
we have
Can they
other,
all afford Uber and Lyft?
we have,
Or-
most of them can, or we can provide that for them, but nonetheless, that brochure was created to basically give the concept of our whole program. In this particular house, our guys won't be authorized to have a job. They're with us for 90 days. They can't work. They're program, and then we transition them into a sober living, or back home, or whatever it is, whatever their treatment plan is.
How much profit does the homeowner make off of this?
I couldn't begin to tell you. We pay rent, so.
Just a record for the city folks.
What percentage of your inhabitants, because you have many programs, right, so you have some history, you have some track record, what percentage of your participants, fall off the program while they're in these types of houses? How many of them,
What's the success pass rate?
yeah, how many of them get bounced out because they don't pass a drug test, they fall off the wagon? What's that percentage? When they're
So-
in this type of house, in a very similar community?
Yeah, of course, I mean, it happens. Do I have a statistic for you? No, I do not.
You should
That
have.
sounds kind of odd.
Yeah, that is kind of.
Must be high.
If they fail, are they evicted from the house?
Yeah, I mean, we have behavioral issues all the time. I mean, obviously, you know,
Well,
like
that's
this,
nice
like
to
this
know.
woman just, explained, right? Like, people do relapse and treatment. It's part of, it can be part of somebody's recovery. We do have a protocol for that. We refer them out to a higher level of care. We get them back. I mean, we have systems in place. We're not just running around your guys' neighborhood, you know,
Our
willy-
concern is, my
willy-nilly.
concern is they're gonna relapse on my playground.
Yeah, I mean, so this
In my
particular,
parking lot. Right, that's our concern. So I'm just wondering how big of a chance there is for that to happen.
You know,
I mean,
for someone who
no
professes
matter
to be
what I
such a
tell
good
you,
neighbor,
you know,
you came in the
you guys are
back
gonna
door
believe
with
what
this
you
whole
wanna believe.
program.
That has not happened.
And that tells me a lot about you.
That has not happened. I mean, they're supervised 24/7. They're supervised 24/7.
We've been running this program for 5 years, we have 24 houses, and X amount of participants, and 10% of them have relapsed. I'd be like, okay, but you still really have that really confident data, and that makes me nervous.
I agree.
And do you have any data on the loss of home value of the neighborhood?
I do not. Would you like to share that with me?
Martinson, there's an article, it's 30 page, about 8%
Share it
on,
with me, please.
absolutely, right here,
Yes, email it to me on my business cards over here with my email address.
coming to you right now.
Thank you.
So,
What do you
so
say,
you keep
8%?
referencing that.
8%
there are
on the
gonna be
study and
males
average.
there, So any females that should be there besides when you visit, they should be staff members?
I mean, my wife goes over there regularly with me. I mean, there are women that have been there and that may be there, but that's a men's house. Yeah, we will only house men there. There will only be a male house manager there. I mean, you know, somebody might show up to pop in, but not to be the staff member there or the client there.
It may sound like a frivolous question, but the reason I ask is I have some experience with these types of things, and when you have males and females in recovery, you know, things come up of a sexual nature quite often. So I just wanted, you know, if I see something like that, I'm gonna notice. So I just wanted to make sure that the residents there should be males.
Yes.
Who's held liable if, let's just say, something did happen? Somebody's home, something
I would
happened to
imagine
somebody's
our
home.
company's liability insurance, you know, I would imagine that that's who you guys would probably end up going after. And that's my best guess. You know, we've never dealt with a situation like that. We have been in business for 5 years, so, that's never happened.
What's the visitation policy?
I'll answer that. This guy's had his hand up for a while.
Yeah, I just have one of the flashbacks to some procedural things. So I heard that you are state licensed to do this work.
Yes, our
As a facility.
outpatient center is licensed.
So
by the
that's
state
an
of
outpatient center. The
Correct.
actual home itself does not require
Correct.
any sort
To
of,
the best of my knowledge.
okay, to the best of your knowledge.
Yep.
All right. Secondary is you are currently, or have submitted a permit to the city of Arvada for the expansion to 12 residents. That's been done, or it's being done?
That's why we're here, that's why they're sitting here.
Okay, so that's a permit that we can see, Jeremiah?
Yep, it's online, ArvadaPermits.org.
It's already up there for us? Alright.
Is there a
Alright,
reference number?
alright. That's all I need.
Just want to make note for the city notes, that the location of this house is as deep as you can get in any residential neighborhood in the whole city of Arvada. You have to pass more than 40 private residences to get to this home, before you get to the only feeder road, which is 72.
And a school.
And a school, all this way. You can't get any deeper in a residential neighborhood than this. And to say that traffic is gonna be one van and one car is a ridiculous, insane statement. That's why I asked the question about how are you gonna eat here. If you're gonna have a cook come in, now there's additional traffic, groceries are additional traffic, and I think some state regulations and maybe county apply when you start cooking for other people. And that's probably why I got the smart ass answer from you, like, what's the matter with you? Well, it matters because I think you may be trying to come in the
I'll
back
answer-
door.
I'll
and cook
answer
for
it.
'em.
I'll answer it.
Please,
Okay?
please.
So our staff member will have his personal car parked in the garage. He will be using the company vehicle to transport clients to and from the center, to and from the grocery store, to and from AA meetings, to and from activities like hiking and bowling and the movies and things like that.
That's a lot of traffic, just even you say no more than 2
Right,
cars.
I mean.
And all
yeah,
the, and all the
then
groceries
I'll
for 12
be popping
people.
in from time to time. You know, I mean, that's what the traffic will look like. I mean, yeah, they're gonna be gone in the morning, just like, you know, a family leaving for work or to drop their kids off, or they'll be leaving, right? And then they'll be coming home in the afternoon. And that's what that'll look like. The house manager does grocery shopping, while the guys are in group, while they're being supervised by their clinicians, their psychiatrists, their therapists, things of that nature. The house manager goes grocery shopping, brings the food home. The guys, as part of our life skill program, they're encouraged to cook and prepare their own meals.
So you have one kitchen with 13 people cooking meals in it.
There's not 13 people in there.
I thought there were 12 people plus a manager.
No, we're attempting to get approval for that meeting.
Right.
We're
When
allowed
that-
five,
when
we're allowed
that happens.
5, which is what we have.
Correct, but if you move between 5 and 12, now you have logistics of a kitchen.
And a
One
second
kitchen-
vehicle, a second vehicle, because you can't transport everyone in a 12-passenger van.
Does the house manager, if it's a new person, if you have a new hire, are they gonna introduce themselves to these neighbors to say, hi, I'm the new house manager? Do you have any questions?
Most definitely, we're open to that.
Do they
Yeah, we can make that happen if you guys, you know, wanna meet the staff.
So why didn't you
know.
come to our neighbors and introduce yourself and say, I'm starting this facility, what's your thoughts on it? Why didn't, because I'm sorry, I've never met you, you guys live behind me, never seen you guys, and I'm outside all the time.
No, I'd like to do that.
I don't know why you guys never, why didn't you? And I've lived there a year, you've had someone there a year?
I'm sorry, I never saw you, I apologize. You know, but
I'm just curious, why would,
I'd like to.
you're not gonna answer my question? No, you're not, okay.
What is your visitation policy?
No visitors on site. They have to put in a pass. Like I was explaining earlier, we have a phase system. At a certain phase, they're allowed to put in a pass to go off-site, to visit family, spend time with their sponsor, spiritual advice, etc., whatever that
But
looks
no one
like, and they
can
do
come
that
visit
off-site.
them.
No, from time to time, we will have these guys sponsored come over, maybe run a house meeting, something like that, share their story, be there for an hour, 2 hours, and then they're gone. And that's what that looks like.
Thank you.
Can the guys get out and walk by themselves when the neighborhood?
She's had her hand up for a second. No,
Go ahead and answer.
I want to address that directly because, look, of course these guys are going to want, you know, they've asked, can I go skate in the neighborhood? Can I go outside? You know, and we've done our best to keep them out of y'all's hair. I mean, that's the best answer that I can give you. I promise you. You know, it's been something that we constantly have to address with our guys. You know, I'm not going to be unreasonable with you. I mean, these guys, you know, they want to go skate, they want to go, you know, whatever, the tennis courts, this, that, and the other, and we've told them, no, you know, not at this point, this, that, and the other. We can't have you guys skating up and down the streets, you know, that's not something that, we're not doing that. So we are monitoring that. I want you guys to know that. We're reasonable, we understand the neighborhood that we're in. You know, again, just to touch on what you experienced the other day, I can only apologize to you and assure you that we'll do everything that we can to make sure that it does not happen.
So when it happens, do I reach out to you?
You can call me directly.
And
can
tell
call
you
me
directly,
As a matter
this is
of fact,
happening?
at one of our other houses, we have a sign on our back door, do not go outside. Do not go outside, right? And that's something that I can implement at this house as well. So we, you know, again, to be transparent with you guys, right? Like from the business aspect, it's imperative to us to have good working relationships with homeowners, with neighbors, with HOAs, with the city. Otherwise, you don't have a business, right? So there's probably nothing I can say, but you know, I just want to assure you guys that we are doing everything that we possibly can.
I don't think anyone here though is attacking you, or no one here is saying what you're doing is not helpful.
Well, let me address.
I'm just 1 second. I'm just saying I don't think anyone here is saying what you're doing. I think our biggest problem we have is we're blindsided. We're blindsided by this. You can tell me you've been there. You can tell me you've been there, guys. I'm telling you right now. I know all my neighbors.
Yes.
I've seen everyone. I've never seen you guys. It would have been great for you guys to approach it with us in a neighborly fashion, knock on my door. If we're outside, talk to us.
What kind of quality of life is it for your residents too when you say you can't go in the backyard, you can't go outside? What kind of quality of life is that for them when they can't?
It's a step down from an inpatient hospital setting, right? So I mean, it is a step down. We do get them outside. We take them on hikes. We take them out to the movies. Well, I mean, we're doing things with them, so.
But it's supervised.
Absolutely.
So they're not using, like you said, they're not gonna be using the neighborhood
They will
facilities, like
They
the
will not.
gym or the pool area or any of that?
They will not.
That's what you're saying, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
It's on video.
If one of them were to become violent and try to get themselves out of the property against the rules, I mean, I understand that's against the rules.
Right.
Is the individual there qualified, capable, able? What would be the process that would happen?
protocol.
One of them?
Physically
If they
restraining
physically
somebody?
were to come
Well,
on
you know,
hinge
I
and
mean,
run.
we make it a point to not physically put our hands on any of our clients,
Fair.
for obvious reasons, you know,
Mhm.
lawsuits and liability and things of that nature. But if something like that were to happen, I mean, you know, we would call the authorities immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, they're not there under lock and key. It's not a mental institution where they're, you know, straight
Correct,
jackets.
and that's the other reason why things like that don't happen, is because if somebody becomes agitated with the program, they can simply request to be taken to the airport,
Fair.
get them out of town, so
Understood.
those things don't
I think it'd be
tend to
great
not
when you
happen.
said.
She said she's had her hand up for
Yeah.
quite a
For a
minute.
long
So
time.
under Colorado state law, your facility is required to have sanitation inspections to ensure 12 people in a, estimating approximately 3-bedroom house does not become a public health hazard.
It's actually going to be a 9-bedroom house, but
I have a 2-story home in my area that is not approved by the city to have more than 5 bedrooms because of egress. And I am concerned with 12 people in a small house. That is a very nice suit for disease transmission. So I'm just wondering, are your facilities required to have any type of yearly or biannual sanitation inspection to ensure that their health and safety is okay?
To the best of my knowledge, no. We are not required by any state organization or any other entity.
What does the city say?
We do follow the Joint Commission protocol at our outpatient center, and we also have those systems in place at house. Kids are up every day doing chores. They do a deep clean once a week. They're washing their sheets. Their hygiene is more or less monitored as much as we possibly
How do you make sure
can.
their food is safe? Is it just up to the individual, or how do you make sure that,
I mean, we do all the
proper
grocery.
refrigeration and all
Yeah.
of that stuff is being provided?
Right, yeah, we do all the grocery shopping, and then once a week during our deep clean, we pull out any food from the fridge that's expired, coming up on expiration, we wipe down the entire fridge, and then all the food goes back in, so.
And maintain that temperatures, or is that?
Maintain the temperatures.
Let's move on.
It's
To
in a
make sure the
refrigerator.
refrigerator is
Well, yeah,
working
of
at
course, yeah,
appropriate
of course,
temperatures, because that's important for people's health.
of course. And that's a Joint Commission standard, by the way, which, I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with it, but that's a Joint Commission standard that, at this point, we are not, so our outpatient facility is not accredited by the Joint Commission, we're in that process, but our other facilities, which are in another state, are accredited by the Joint Commission, so all those systems and all those standards and all those policies are in place here as well. It's just our program, it's the way we run the program. Yes, ma'am?
I had a husband, my brother that lived in a group home, but what was nice about that is they had like a big fence around the place, so when they were out in the yard, you couldn't see them. Unfortunately, in our area, we can't have fences like that, stockade fences, and it's just wide open, so I think when you set about putting a sign on your door, keep them inside, would be great. Can you really do that?
Absolutely.
Can you do that?
Absolutely, I can.
I think I would appreciate
That would help him with his children in the backyard.
I would appreciate
and
that,
as
absolutely.
well.
that's what we're saying. How do we really?
Right.
Can the city answer, I think a lot of people have questions about how, a school being so close to a facility like this, how,
There's no spacing requirements
There's no
between
spacing.
group homes and.
okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I just have a couple of quick questions for you, sir. And I want to echo, we're not angry at you, you're doing your job.
Absolutely.
You've been very professional in answering our questions, and we appreciate it.
Except for when he wanted to
So,
leave.
Number one, is there a requirement, what is your policy for sex offenders? Registration?
We don't take them.
And you do background checks, and you,
Only if they
It's,
self-report.
yes, it is.
only if they self-report?
It is self-report.
Oh my goodness.
So, like, what I'm gonna outline to you are a couple of things that I think are good neighbor policies. I think that's an area that you're hearing there's a lot of concern, because there's a lot of children, and a school within state law. So you would be violating state law at the sex offender is living there. So second question. How many facilities do you have with 12-person or greater that you manage right now?
We have a handful of places down, none up here in Denver. None up in Denver, because we're in the process of going through this with the city, with each individual city, each individual county. So as of right now, none here in Denver.
How many are you working on? How many are you trying to approve?
I mean, we're attempting to get up to anywhere between 40 and 50 clientele by the end of the year. So depending on the housing situation, what homes become available, who's willing to work with us as a landlord, like that really dictates what neighborhood we end up in, you know, because I sit on Trulia or Zillow and I'm calling homeowners, hey, this is what we got going on. Are you willing to rent to us? Yada, 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 right? So that's what determines where we end up, what neighborhood we end up in, how many bedrooms they have, and if we can get approval from the city.
So you answered my question. Unfortunately, your question is, my question is, right now you manage none at this level of occupancy.
Not in the state of Colorado, no.
Not in
What
the
other
state of
states do you
Colorado.
operate?
Arizona,
What part of Arizona?
Scottsdale.
So I'm getting my next question. Obviously, another thing that you're hearing from the neighbors is we feel, as a group who live in similar homes
I'm gonna look
and
that
live in
up.
this environment, that 12 people is making us very uncomfortable. So I think that's another thing for you guys to consider in your business model and your proposal to the city. Obviously, we don't like to call, but we don't like 12 people, because 12 increases your odds. Statistics. So with that, I'm gonna kind of shut up and maybe we can close out this meeting.
Wait, I just have one question with what you said. If you're self-governing for like sex offender type things, then can you make your occupancy list known to the community so we can make sure that?
Unfortunately, because of HIPAA privacy laws, we can't. We can't.
Because then
Because
you
they're
don't.
receiving treatment with us.
So how can that be okay to be self-reporting? Can you explain that to me? Because they're gonna be within a certain mile of a school. How can that be left to self-reporting?
So at this point, that is what our system is, that is what our pre-screen process is. I'm completely open to having the conversations with the individuals who own this entity. I'm just the director of operations, and making that part of our pre-screen process, doing a thorough criminal background check. I can propose that.
No, I know,
I'm
but if
open to
you're
proposing
within
that.
whatever the mileage is for sex offenders to be near a school, are you even within that? Cause this is a waste of my question if you're not. Does anyone know?
I don't
Are
know.
you within the distance that is?
No. There-
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure, absolutely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Okay, so if you're within those bounds, how can it not be required, does anyone know that answer? How can it not be required that you make sure that you're not violating that law?
So in terms of being within a certain proximity of a school, I hear what you're saying, but we're not required as a group home or whatever the category is to do those types of checks.
But your liability envelope
But your
expands
house is
significantly.
We're not even required
All of
to not accept sex offenders. That's just what our own, as an entity, our own policy is. But I mean, there are programs out there that do specifically work with sex offenders. We're not one of them.
So how can someone monitor if they are a sex offender that should be registered? I guess that's my question.
We have our process. It's not foolproof. It's not perfect. But that is what it is. I mean, we are doing that.
So you're checking with us how it is? I'm sorry, is that what you're saying?
Wait, so,
This allows, that group homes can have, one sex offender, any other group homes.
if they're near,
Well,
Not within this building, not within the
that's-
school envelope.
right, so my.
Well, is it 1,000? I don't know the,
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
know the distance, but I think it's 1,000.
So if you can't disclose to us to do the cross
But what
check.
he's saying is that they're not having it in this.
Well,
that's
they're not
what-
asking
they
people
don't know.
voluntarily,
They don't
so my
know.
question
But-
is,
But I
if,
think they need to, I guess if you had indicated there's ways that may be appropriate for you going forward with trying to.
Yeah, I mean, I can propose that to the owners of the company, that we make this part of our pre-screen process, that we do criminal background checks on every client
and you
that's
make
gonna
sure
come.
they register if they're supposed to, versus giving us.
They
a
won't
list
come
of-
into our program if they're a sex offender.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
We
takes
don't-
closing to check.
No, but so that's what I'm saying, if you can't give us a list of people because it violates HIPAA, then maybe you should take on that responsibility of not having it be self-reporting.
We're taking notes tonight. So we're taking all your notes, what you're commenting on,
what they're also responding in terms of how they're addressing. So this is your input, that's why we wanted to have this.
Okay, so I should be, I guess, checking, as part of this application process, are you gonna be checking the rules and the regulations around this whole sexual offender thing? Because even though they're not required, the fact is that this house is going to be within the bounds of the school. And you guys are gonna be saying.
Yeah, that's something that
Yes,
we follow up,
yes.
yes.
So it's like.
In terms of the
do you see how that's
distance, but
connected?
as I
Yeah.
indicated earlier, any group home within the city, they can have one. They have to be registered.
Well, right, but then that
They
would
have
take
to
the
be
numbers.
registered.
But I think the question now is the distance, and I thought it was 1,000. But I
don't know.
It's bigger. I'll need to follow up on that, but we certainly will.
Okay, you guys are gonna look into that. And that'll be considered in the application process. All of these things will be.
Yes.
looked
I think
into
you
to make
missed
sure.
the beginning, respectfully, that this is not really, this is approved, they fall in a whatever class.
Protected class.
I thought that the city of Arvada was going to approve this.
We will be, in terms of the permit and the numbers.
They're gonna have at least 5, they're doing at least 5, she's doing it.
I have a question for the city. Is it, are you able to approve a house for 9 bedrooms, restroom facility, sanitation, garbage, electricity for all the refrigeration to take care of? Well, is that okay in a residential home
It
of
is
this
going
size?
through the building department as well as the fire, so they also have their regulations. In terms of the planning side, we're looking at for zoning, and then the requirements in terms of what a group home is allowed. So we're looking at it from that perspective, so there are other people besides us trying to figure that out. They have submitted plans, it's going through a process. There is also whatever regulations that they fall under, even though, you know, they aren't required to be licensed. There is still obligations they have to meet with the code, fire code.
Is there other homes like this in neighborhoods in Arvada like this to this extent
I know of one right now.
that has 12 people living in it?
No, they don't have 12, but,
So this would
typically group homes can go up to 16.
okay.
But this type of group home, I'm only aware of one right now.
So this essentially would be the first for the city of Arvada
For the number, yes.
for the number. So this would be some. Has the mayor been addressed on this, or does the mayor?
Well, I think what you have to understand, this is beyond the city. Right. This is a federal requirement. This is federal statute tells us what to do. We conform to what those standards are with our land.
But you guys are the ones that are approving the 12, correct?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So if there's no other, this would be a first for the city of Arvada to have.
We do it for other types of group homes. Other group homes would apply for that request. It's called a reasonable accommodation.
I would be more comfortable with the original proposal of an Alzheimer facility being in my backyard. At least they wouldn't remember me. No offense. I'm not trying to make a joke, but I'm saying there wouldn't be this type of behavior that I experienced. So that's my concern. If it was an Alzheimer's facility and they were caring for someone, I would have no problem with it. I wouldn't even be here at this meeting right now. But since it's a concern for 12 people of this type of drug, right? And like I said, I'm not. By all means, I understand your process. I've been in your facilities, probably not yours particular, but I've been in those facilities. My concern that I have is you're setting a precedence now for.
Not a precedence.
If you allow this, you are.
It would be allowed to any group home that they apply for that. It's just that there is not that many group homes that fall under this category. But we do have requests for different group homes to increase their size. From 8 is typically what a group home requirement is. And then they could request for accommodation. And that's what we're moving forward is to request for accommodation.
And you guys are making that determination.
Yes.
And then also you will make a determination as well, even though hearing him, but you'll also make a determination based on them being the neighbors that they are and their demeanors at this meeting, correct?
That would be something that we would be looking at as well. But
Thank you.
Is there a realtor in here at all? Is anybody a licensed realtor? I want to know if I have to disclose this facility if I decide to resell my home.
That's a good question, because I'm right behind him.
If I sell, I break my price, we can do a wall.
I just want to know if this is something I have to
Ask
disclose.
like a name,
Nobody
as
wanna
an
buy the house,
HOA,
dude.
whatever, do we have any representation? Who do we go to? Is there like a legal? Who is there?
For your HOA, your
Somewhere
actually your HOA has information about this.
Okay.
So I would go
So
see
that's
you.
what we need
But
to
they have told us it's a protected class. We can't do anything.
Bound by federal law.
Yes.
Right.
Right, but just to look into all these other things that you're saying, that they have to make sure they maintain
But
this.
with fence, with trash on the side of the yard, that's it.
Yeah, so that's who you would go for, because they still have to meet all your covenants.
So who's paying for all of the, like the window wells or the egress and all of that? Are you guys paying for that? They're not paying for that, right? Okay.
So
And
you're just a
gonna work
renter,
on-
right? You guys are just renting it.
Yeah.
And then this is, obviously, you bought the home, you want your mortgage paid for, so you're renting it to pay for that.
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
And just so everybody knows, the library has to close soon, so we're gonna.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it safe to say this would be considered some form of a halfway house?
No,
No. No?
Safe house?
no.
It's a residential recovery program. But they're bound to stay there for a certain period of time. I mean, they're not bound, they're free to leave whenever they want, but we are a 90-day program.
So no more than 90 days in this house?
Correct.
It's a 90-day temporary housing, correct?
Correct. And more people
90 days
come.
temporary housing.
But it is a good home, so that's how the